Go ahead and call the play. How much time is wasted? Jerry Thomas is number 15. He figures to be the man that gets the call.
All right, you got 29 seconds left, Keith. He is going to have to throw this ball. Oh, they're going to kick it now. Okay. They're kicking it on third down.
Who's out there? Thomas or Maury?
Thomas.
8 of 9 in his field goals. His long one, 40. This will be a 34-yard try, and this is for a win. This could be for a national championship. It's up.
When that kick went up, and we was on this side, and when that kick went up, and it looked like from where we were, the goal looked good.
What I thought I saw was that ball go inside of that goalpost because it was up high over the goalpost.
I thought it was good. I think I raised my hand in that picture, in that moment.
It looked like he made the field goal.
Everybody's trying to, running on the field, trying to see is it going through, and it looked, from that angle, looked like it went through.
I turned to Coach Bowden, actually, because I was sitting close to Coach Bowden, and I seen Coach Bowden's hands come up.
He's lining up to kick the field goal. You think, this kid's gold. It's going to go through the post. And everything looked good.
The officials look up there and they look at that thing, and it was just such a great game.
The 26th time in history that number 1 has played number 2. It is the 4th such game for Miami. It is the 1st for Florida State.
The coaches really don't have to say anything to motivate us, and all the speeches. It's Miami. It was Miami week. And you talking about the game of the decade, game of the century. I played a couple of those, and that was that type of game. It was electric.
We had already played in a game of the century, you know. We went to the big house, and it was 1 versus 3 in Michigan. You know, to me, that was, we had been there, done it already this year. All right, let's go get us another T-shirt, you know, with a score on it.
You're looking at the quarterback you had in Casey Weldon. You're looking at Amp Lee and Edgar Bennett. You're two of the best running backs in the country. I mean, you're looking at some of these offensive linemen you had, and you know how good they are. And you're looking at people like Terrell Buckley in the backfield, and you know, Marvin Jones and Kirk Carruthers, these linebackers. And I'm sure I'm leaving some of these guys out, but you're just saying there's no way we can lose. I mean, you're looking at the talent that you have, and it's almost like you can't even go to sleep because you're like, just don't mess it up.
His pregame speech will always be when we play those type of games. Man, somebody's going to become famous today. The whole world is watching. And that's how we used to take it. The whole world is watching us.
Everybody saw it in the country, probably parts of the world, and you knew that. And this was a rivalry game to the nth degree.
It was big time, no doubt. You know, at the time, being up for the Heisman, none of that mattered. It didn't matter. It was all about staying undefeated, winning a national championship, bringing the first one to Coach Bowden.
Start number 1, finish number 1 was the goal. We knew they had a great team. We knew we had one.
To me, it didn't have to be 1 versus 2. It was Miami. It was Florida State, Miami. Enough said.
The press box was jammed. People had been writing about this series all week. And if you go back again to 80, 87, a number of those years, the national championship was determined by that Miami-Florida State game.
Florida State-Miami always has, I circle that one on the schedule when it comes out. It always has the possibility of being one of those right down to the wire, nobody leaves the stadium, classic football games.
The fact that we was playing them at home, it made our nerves relax just a little bit because we didn't lose at home. I don't care what the score said, if it still had time on that clock, we didn't lose at home, and that's how we felt.
I knew a bunch of the guys on the other team, Lamar Thomas and Copeland and Gino and all those guys. So competing for that top dog status.
That was probably the best team I'd ever been on. So we went into that game very confident. We did have some injuries from the LSU game earlier that year, but we still were very confident and we were in control.
We felt we had the team, we had the squad, and we were at home, so we were definitely pumped.
Everything on the line, you know, everything you came to Florida State for and had put in and prepared for. And
the talent was so great on both sides and so deep that if you're going to go get in a fight, have a lot of good backup. And that's what both schools had.
I tried to hit them as hard as I possibly could hit them. If that ball went the other way, I tried to take that guy's head off. He tried to take mine off. Why? Just because I could. You know, and it was fun.
You hit the person, you didn't help him up, you stepped on his hand. You know, you hit a person, you didn't say, hey, get up and let's try it again. No, you said something very derogative about his mother. You know, you hit a person and you outran him, or you got an interception and you outran him, you turned around and you gave him the finger, come on, let's go, come on, catch up, catch up, catch up.
You don't have to like someone to respect someone. And back then we didn't like them, and they didn't like us. But that don't mean that they didn't respect us, and that don't mean that we didn't respect them.
Not a whole lot of trash talking. People don't realize that. Because like I said, we knew each other. We used to hang out in the summer. And it was like a brotherly type family feud.
It was an epic battle. It was a pro atmosphere game. I mean, you had parties maybe 3 or 4 days before the game could even take place. When they had us going to school, you had every other student out because they was out all night the night before. You had Miami fans in Tallahassee for the entire week.
On campus, you know, being number one that week and knowing that we had to play Miami, it was, you know, very intense.
It was crazy. Practice, campus. I think they probably should have suspended school for a week. That's just how the magnitude of the game.
Back then, when you lost the game, you was out of the national championship hunt. And every year, we trained to beat Miami. Off season, when football started, no matter who we played, we knew in October, this one game decides that we have a chance at a national title.
91 team, we all thought would win the national title. Casey Weldon was the quarterback. We had a slew of kids that went on to play in the NFL. And so the crowd here was gathered with hopes, bated breath, that we were going to win the national title that year.
When we ran out for that game, the stands was full. I mean, it was like it was third quarter already. Everybody was standing up. Everybody was, it was capacity. It was completely sold out. And it was a hype that you've never seen before, really. I mean, it was Miami, yes, true enough. But you had more cameras at that game than I ever recall we had.
Chills. Even coming into the stadium today, it kind of brings back memories of just the excitement. And then to take it to a Miami game just takes it that much further.
It was an electric type feeling that you were ready to, you know, to get that game on and to get on, you know, go ahead and mash up with this Titan from down south.
Loretta will look to his left, cocks his arm, gets rid of the ball, and it is intercepted at the 11-yard line. Picked off by Terrell Buckley, and what a spectacular.
No other game or no other team was more talented and had more talent than the FSU-Miami series my whole 5 years. So 1 versus 2, it, you know, just added to the, it doesn't get any more dramatic, I don't think.
It is a national championship.
1 versus 2, speed against speed.
Do whatever it takes to win.
The blood's going to be flowing.
You're a little bit more hungry to play against a number 1 team.
If you're going to play Miami, you got to play the best.
Speed kills. Miami's tough. We're real tough.
If they're going to gamble, we have to beat them when they do gamble. The receivers are probably the quickest in the country.
Seminoles are definitely tougher. Seminoles are quicker. Man for man, we're a lot quicker. Very elusive.
I use my quickness more than speed. We're going to keep you off balance. We're going to make you run from sideline to sideline.
I love to run with the ball. If you practice making big plays, you don't try to force the big play. It comes to you.
It's going to be a battle until the end.
All it boils down to is who's going to win one of these.
So here's your first play of the ball game. The Miami Hurricanes from the 26. The ball is swung out to McGuire. He's got some room to work. And the big guy from Brooklyn is all the way out to the 40-yard line, and it's a first down for Miami, a pickup of 14 yards. They're knocking on the door. Give it to McGuire. He's short. He's got a touchdown.
I think the first drive, the height, they changed a couple things, and Coach Andrews, the best adjusters I've ever been around to game plans, and we just made a few adjustments.
I knew we had pretty good plays, ready to roll. Coach Bowden, we always came out strong and ready to make them think a little bit and be prepared for anything. So we ran a formation that we hadn't seen, hit Ampli on a go right down the sideline, and wish I'd have thrown it just a little bit farther so he'd have walked in the end zone.
Weldon rolls out to get a little bit more time to throw, takes a hit by Crime. The ball is delivered, and it's a great throw.
We just got stuffed inside the 10. I missed I know William Floyd got jacked up on a toss sweep. We lost yardage on.
Lee with the ball. Great play by Hurley Brown, the strong safety.
Underthrew a ball to Lonnie Johnson that if I could have thrown it a little bit farther, he walks in the end zone. We were missing that punch.
It was a defensive trotting game. They had some first downs. We had some first downs. They got a couple of touchdowns. We got a couple of touchdowns, but it was mostly field goals.
This early in the ball game, it makes you wonder about his offense inside the 5-yard line against the Hurricanes.
25-yard field goal try by Jerry Thomas is good.
He couldn't kick the ball from a great long distance, but from 45 and in, he was very consistent.
Took the lead, and it was a slugfest like every Miami game was.
Right call, right time, right place. And at halftime, it is Florida State leading Miami 10-7 in a defensive struggle.
We had a motto at halftime back in those days, and specifically that game.
We had a strict philosophy with our defenses. We up, we can't lose it.
If they don't score, we'll win.
He kept repeating, if they don't score, we win. If they don't score, we win. We came out here, we let them score.
Running the football.
It is third down. They're at least 1.5 yards, close to 2 yards away from the goal line with Jones in the backfield.
I know everybody think he's supposed to stop everything, but it doesn't work that way.
He has it. He's got a touchdown. And Miami.
We knew it was going to be a close game, and it was going to come down to that last 3 to 4 minutes in the ball game, and that's exactly what happened. And we felt like we had the upper hand because we was moving it. Casey was doing it. We was scrambling. We set the ball up perfectly.
We're going to put our points up. We had never really been stopped at all the whole year until that game.
1 minute.
You could feel the game. You could feel the passion. You could feel the emotion.
Number 1 trails, number 2 by a point. Weldon's pass is away for Terrell. He's in the end zone.
We're a beat-up football team. We had suffered some injuries, and we gave it everything we could give, but we just couldn't punch in touchdowns. We settled for field goals, and it came down to a field goal.
It gets the call.
All right, you got 29 seconds left, Keith. He is going to have to throw this ball. Oh, they're going to kick it now. Okay. They're kicking it on third down.
Who's out there? Thomas and Maury. Thomas, 8 of 9 in his field goals. His long one, 40. This will be a 34-yard try, and this is for a win. This could be for a national championship. It's up. Missed it to the right.
When they did, no good, I think that a collective breath just left us. And we were just like in awe and dazed that we didn't win the game.
You look, then you see him doing that. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
It was one of those things where your heart is beating so fast, before the kick. And then when the kick is done, they said it was no good. It was just like somebody just took the air out of you, and it was just, we're thinking that, that was it. There's no way we're going to get back in it. It was taken from us, and it had to be Miami that took it from us.
When you see the visitors run on your field and celebrate, because those guys used to be They had so much confidence. I don't call nobody arrogant. They just had so much confidence.
It looked good to us. We were celebrating. We stopped celebrating when we looked over to the sideline of Miami and saw them celebrating. And we were thinking to ourselves, why are they celebrating? And we found out then that we didn't have the accurate field goal and that everything was thrown in because time was pretty much gone.
It seemed like it was our time. We had the Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback. We had the team, we had the defense, we had the offense. So to go from that high to that low, it was heart-wrenching.
Unfortunate for us, it was not a great feeling. Even though from my angle, I still think that went through the upright.
I'm standing right behind Coach Bowden. I see the crowd just, my mouth dropping. I'm in history because every time you see Coach Bowden that first wide right, I'm right behind him. It was a hurting feeling.
Worst feeling. I've had a pretty good life because that was absolutely, at that point, one of the probably second worst thing ever happened to me.
It felt like waking up Christmas morning thinking that you had all the presents that you ever wanted and going under the tree and finding nothing with your name on it. That's the emotional roller coaster that went on. We were so high, so high, so high, and then we were so low, so low.
It's probably like you eat a whole bunch of candy and you get that rush, and then when that crash comes, I mean, like that quick.
It's almost like something inside you died. And it's terrible. It really shouldn't be that way.
It is almost, back then, it is almost like losing a family member when you lose that game. Because you've been to put so much energy and time into winning that game, and when you lose it, it's a reality that set in that we got to start this process all over again to try to get back to the national championship.
The television show that we taped that night was emotionally just absolutely drained.
I remember taking a chair after everybody had left and just taking a chair and going sitting in the shower for I don't know how long, and probably rehashing every play that I should have made and wish I'd have made, and wondering how it happened. Because I'm telling you, there was never a seed of doubt, I don't think in anyone's mind, ever, that we would win that game.
I think each player in the locker room that I remember interviewing was talking about the mistake they made. There was no finger pointing at the kicker, they just didn't feel like he should have been put in that position.
Jerry and I had long conversations in law school about that game and about how he felt afterwards, and I told him, I don't blame you. I don't think anybody on the team really blamed you.
We felt that, it shouldn't have been in his hands anyway. And he did make 3 for us, so that was a good thing. He was 75%, so if we'd have passed or tackled 75%, it wouldn't have come to a field goal.
I know to this day Jerry probably feels as bad as anybody that wears garnet and gold, and we feel bad for him.
I haven't seen Jerry Thomas since that day. I haven't heard nothing from him. He transferred, he left Florida State. That guy was a walk-on kicker.
Receiver has to make the catch.
25-yard field goal, good earlier by Jerry Thomas. Now it's a 31-yard try, and good.
Jerry had worked extremely hard to win that starting position. And he was out there every day kicking during the summer, and he'd worked real hard.
Going into that game, and even in that game, Jerry, I don't even remember. I don't know if he had missed a field goal up until that time. And so I remember saying, look, he had us in the game. But the way that the sports world is, we only remember the last down. We only remember the last kick. We only remember that last play.
He said everywhere he went, somebody asked him about the kick. How did you pull that? He said he had soccer players coming up to him. How did you pull that? That's a disgrace to a soccer player. He had weekend warriors coming up to him. I could have made that kick. It was a chip shot. It was less than 40 yards. It was this, it was that. Everybody had something to say about it. He got frustrated. He got tired of it. He actually left school, finished undergrad at another institution, and then came back for Florida State Law School.
Kickers and quarterbacks, they get too much of the glory and too much of the blame.
In that column I wrote, we talked about 22 reasons why, and that the overriding tone was that it wasn't any one play that cost you the game, that there were 22 opportunities in the game for somebody to make the play that would have won the game.
Weldon's pass to the corner. No, he had it on the hands of number 1 Shannon Baker.
Be the first to say, I take the blame. Give me 2 throws over. Give me 1 throw over. We win the game.
Short drop by Weldon. Going to get rid of the ball. Just threw it downfield, too. It's intercepted. Picked off by the strong safety, that's Farms, and he is going to be dropped as he got to the 39. That time Weldon was hit as he pulled the trigger, and he's upset with himself.
We have to look at ourselves in the mirror. Maybe I could have made a block out there at wide receiver. Maybe we could have made a block. Maybe we could have made a better run. Maybe we could have made a better pass. So we cannot look at just that one kick. There's no way we can blame it on a kick.
It was just a great game. We just happened to lose to an arch rival, the Evil Empire South. We lost to the Miami Hurricanes on a field goal. But again, it goes back to the entire game. You play 60 minutes. It doesn't come down to the last 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or 50 seconds. Invariably, though, sometimes it does.
I think everyone left it on the field. I think everyone give 100%. I think the coaches prepared 100%. I think the players prepared 100%. There's nothing I'd do different today.
So many great memories. It was the best. It was the best and the worst season at FSU for me. So much vested, so much fun. Proud of a lot of things. Just extremely disappointed we didn't finish it off.
That talent we had and how we bond as a team and the camaraderie and just the fun we had, that was the best year, in my opinion, that I ever had.
That game won us a national championship in '93, no doubt 100%. Because when we lost that game, our heads went down. And we ended up losing to Florida that year 14-9. And later on, when we lost to Notre Dame in '93, our heads went down again. And a lot of people that were on that team realized that we couldn't do that. And because we kept our head up, we came out and beat North Carolina State, then we beat Florida, and then we played for a national championship.
Putting yourself up was very tough. But was it worth it? Yeah. But I do it all over for the same experience with the same guys. And if we happen to go wide right, if the football gods shine us the same way, I would do it all over.